Hey, what's up guys? My name is Jack TacMLP, and today we're going into I want to say this is partially a promise into what I'm trying to get done in a previous stream I just had done approximately 2 days ago, where we're going over a Transformer review of sorts. So the thing I was going to do with it was I was going to wait until I got I believe it was Magic Square. Yes, the Magic Square brand new Megatron they recently just came out with on August 31st. However, what I'm going to do is start actually with a figure I already own. And I say that because there's actually something I got with this figure I'm going to use in almost every review, if not for at least the first few, because I'm trying to get a new figure stand. Whenever I get the Magic Square Megatron, it actually, for like 10 bucks, they come with a little black stand you can get. So I'm going to be using that with it. However, this figure, and I didn't realize this when I bought it, actually came with a figure stand. Here it is. This is it right here. It's clear and comes with this little dongle that goes into most figures I've seen. So I am going to be using this a lot in reviews. I'm also going to be using it to get the footage for this today. We're mainly going to go through about transforming it. I do also have the instructions it comes with here. We're going to be going through talking about the transformation and just going over the little details about it, because this is not the review itself. I might talk about things that will be in the review as well when I do it, but this is just to get footage for that review, or at least most of it. So this is going to be an early little thing for it. We're going to be going through and talking about the JINBAO OP Commander Nemesis Prime version. I bought the Nemesis Prime version because at the time of getting it, I already owned multiple different Optimuses. We're actually going to talk about that as well. The instructions actually assume you bought the Optimus version and comes in that red and blue color scheme. So we're going to be going over this one. It has the exact same details to literally every degree. They didn't change anything for it except the color scheme. I'd also like to make this very clear: if they ever make a Nemesis, or not a Nemesis Prime, if they ever make a shattered glass version of this mold, I'm going to probably just blow my entire wallet on it. Considering this figure, depending on where you get it, can be anywhere from the $40 to $60 price range. For what it comes with, it's actually, I'd say, pretty worth it by comparison to most things you can get on the open market. He's not too tall. He only goes up to about... I don't have an exact measurement on me. I'm going to try and get that before the review. I also don't just have a tape measure lying around or anything, or a ruler. So we're going to just go over. He's not really more taller than like 3 inches, so he's not that big. We have some size comparisons as well for other smaller Transformers figures as well as bigger ones. But here's everything that comes with the figure. I'm going to set it out now. I'm going to remove the instructions from the picture. Putting it out, this is the trailer he comes with. He comes with a full-size trailer for him that's squeaking. Jesus Christ, that wood makes it go terribly. As well as a jetpack right here that stores outside the trailer in 2 pegs right here. It plugs in. I'm going to show it once, show that it does plug in. It fits with the truck mode as well when it is plugged in. However, I show it with the jetpack off because I feel like personally this looks better as a more accurate truck trailer. Another thing, you can store the jetpack in the back. However, I'm not too fond of that idea because there's already less clearance anyway, and you gotta kind of go sideways with it. But it does fit in there along with everything else we'll get to eventually. Speaking of, this figure does feature opening doors. Let me get that jetpack out of there for this showcase on this part. See, it's a little hard to get out of there. I don't recommend it. I also bumped the camera. So it does figure opening, or the feature does feature, did I say that right? The figure features opening doors as well. And there's also, if you get right here with it, tire ramps that do come out to drive up for figures coming out. Let's slide out. Oh, that came out a little aggressively. It does come with a roller, just like how Optimus Prime did for the G1 toy. If that squeaks one more time, I'm going to cry. Not really. This roller also has 2 accessories that you can plug into the top here, being, I believe, a gas canister and I think some sort of drill. They do come out, and I will take those out now. And roller also features a little plug that you can flip this little gray thing here up for another little hole to plug things in. So setting that to the side, we're going to open the trailer, and I really want to focus the trailer first because this is literally everything you could be looking for in a Generation 1 style Optimus Prime with a trailer. So opening this up, it has everything from storage to... Oh, give me a moment. I'm figuring out why it's not wanting to open with. This is different. Let me take these out real quick. It is having trouble opening up for me. It could be... Oh, the doors. I had the doors open. Okay. So don't do that as well as I did, otherwise you can end up breaking it. But as long as you don't have the doors open, this figure does come with practically the entire setup for the repair bay as well as medical tables. So what I mean by that is you even have the little side out folds. This figure, or the truck, let me slow down. This isn't the review yet, and I'm already talking as it is. It does come with little stands that pry up and down. I need better lighting for this. Step 1, get better lighting. Little stands that do flick up and down for the truck to sit down, as well as the little unique hinge this thing has to connect to for it. So let's set this down and show the repair bay. The little robot inside of the repair bay is here still. Actually, those might have been good to keep out. They're a little hard to flick open, so I'm going to go ahead and just use my hand for now. We have the little repair bay robot. It does stand up fully, as well as featuring a fully extendable arm on both things, or both sides. This one flicks out like this and can actually do a bit of a waving motion. Can go in a full, almost 360 circumference circle. There we go. As well as an opening cockpit. It does more or less like to come off instead of just opening up, so just be a little wary of that. Pop this back down to what it looks like, showing the full-on repair bay. By comparison to Nemesis Prime, here he is standing here with it. Get a good shot of it because, again, lighting. That's something I apparently struggle with and got to get a little better with. I am on my kitchen table at the moment. So, now that we got the comparison of the repair bay with him, let's show the ports that are right here featured into the trailer. That'll hold the Energon axe that goes on his hand, as well as the gun. One more time, this is colored as Nemesis Prime, as I did not buy the Optimus Prime color scheme. I think they have a Toxitron color scheme. I'm not too sure. I'll show pictures of it if they do, and I'll also talk about it in the review if they do. So now that we've talked about the trailer, let's get that shut back up just so I can show you with it in the truck mode, and we'll get this... Ooh. So something just flew off. What was that? Ah, I see. So the little barriers here actually have little side spikes. Let me get that popped back on off camera real quick. They do tab in, so I did not break it, but that does appear to be something that I need to be watchful for. Oh, I'll tell you what happened. I tried shutting it by opening it to put it over this, instead of putting it down like this. And now I'm dropping things. This is a very clumsy styled review. So shutting back up the trailer. There is something I will mention of this, because I've had this happen a couple times now on stream. You can kind of see I'm having a bit of difficulties with certain things. It's not just... mainly not because I'm incompetent. I'm not most of the time. There is a bit of clunkiness with this. It is very sturdy plastic, I'll give it that. This thing is a brick. These, the little legs, I can get one with these. I don't have nails that well, so I usually use a piece of the figure. That's not recommended, as that could chip something or damage something entirely, but these have a hard time coming out, so you usually won't see me set it up with that. So it is going to sit here and lean off camera. That's okay, though. We're going to go back to talking about Nemesis Prime. In robot mode, he actually has a lot of neat little features, mainly the fact that his backpack is really clean. I want to start with that, and has two obvious ports right here for the jetpack. I will now put that on to show what that looks like real quick, because we're not going to spend a lot of time on the jetpack after this moment. So let me get that on there. It's a little hard because these do move for the transformation. And also I'm doing this at a really weird angle to look around from the camera. I'm hoping I'm getting this at a good angle for the camera, as again, this is footage I'm going to try and use for it. There we go. It's a little crooked. Oh, it's because I missed one of the spots. Okay. I have up to an hour to do this, by the way, to get this footage, so, let's talk a little bit more about things. This is a really good way to get a Nemesis Prime without having to break the bank. The only other good-looking one that I was going to get, or closest thing to this color scheme of an Optimus mold, was honestly Scourge in the Laser Prime mold. That was something I was considering doing, but I did not do. Alright, here it is. Jetpack is on. For anybody who doesn't know, this jetpack was used in an early G1 episode. I don't know if it was episode 1, 2, or 3, or somewhere in the first season. This is the only thing I can guarantee with it. But he does strap onto it really neat. There's a little bit of some hollowness in the shell that shows, but that's okay if you can look there behind the head. It still looks kind of cool. It coming off, just wiggle it back and forth, push these back in, and you're good. Some hollow space in the back as well, not too bad, because everything else is fairly clean, besides these wheels showing in the back. The size and the price point, though, makes this honestly Still a really good looking Optimus. And I do have other small Optimuses to show by comparison for why I'm explaining that. Turn the arm here around. Oh, and reminder, he does not have Decepticon logos / Autobot logos if for some reason you want to put that on, because he is a third party. This is not an official Hasbro product. Here's the gun. It actually has a really good mold as well. Looks just like a G1 Optimus gun. A little bit of extras on here as well in the plastic. Putting it in his hand is easy enough, and now he sits there and rocks it. I personally feel that's a really good gun, and also the articulation for the figure makes it work really well as well. Gonna go ahead and put the Energon axe in his other hand. It is a spiky ball with the axe coming out of it. The middle down here has a small little handhold that we can plug it into just like the gun. And it swivels, it does everything, and it has really good motion with it, mainly due to how his arms are. The arms also have hollow holes in them, however, again, I'm going to mention this is partially for the transformation and due to the size. Swiveling as well. So he does really well at having the gun and the Energon axe at the same time. Sorry, I always forget what this thing's called because most of the time he only uses it once. Oh, his hand comes off. Another thing with that, I did not apply much force to that at all. It's going to look like I'm just trying to mangle this thing. This does happen pretty often with this, I promise. This is going to be really hard to get out. Okay, now that one was just on my end. So the hand here goes into this hole. It is not a slide out thing. I just have to pop it back in. And now the axe also comes apart. So that's actually another thing. The axe part right here slides in and out. Let me get that fixed. At the right angle. Man, I am just all over this today. The axe, for simplicity's sake of putting on the hand, is supposed to slide in and out. See, usually it's not like this. It's probably because I'm just feeling a little bit nervous. This is my first time filming a video like this. You can probably tell by how fast I'm speaking. Okay, without bumping into camera next time, let's try to make sure I don't do that. The Energon axe is off and his hand is fully restored back to its full swiveling beauty. The hands do not open up. I feel like that is okay, again, considering what price point it's at. And also, I don't know if they can get individually articulated fingers on something so small, even with ball joints. Alright, now that we got that stuff going through, let's get some size comparisons with the just robot mode as a whole. So here's the robot mode. Oh wait, no, I do want to go into one more thing. I feel like I'm going all over the place. You probably noticed me untab it a few times. That's because there is no tab for this, and you can probably see it in the light there. There is a matrix chamber. It does open up, but it very loosely sits inside depending on how he's leaning. It immediately fell out, so I'm going to show you guys again. Here's the matrix for the Nemesis Prime. It fits in the Optimus one as well, and it's orange, I believe, orange and blue in the Optimus one. So kind of let me angle him back to show that it does fit in there. Oh, I have it upside down. It's kind of hard to hold. It is very tiny. Alright. Actually, I think this is about the same size as the Legacy. Yes, the Legacy Matrix, which we might be able to check here in a little bit, due to me having a Toxitron right by me, and I'll explain that one why later. So there is the Matrix Chamber in all of its glory. It does open and shut, like so. This will be a little bit different here later, whenever we get into the truck mode, because it has a really neat way of engineering how the truck mode goes through. The robot also has this front flap to help better articulation with the legs, to kind of help them go free-flowing. Alright. Let's get to some size comparison shots for the robot mode before we go ahead and get into the actual transformation. So, due to this being a smaller figure, there's not a lot of different ones on the main market right now that we can compare it to, without just having another JINBAO Optimus in the Optimus colors. So what I have here is from the Dollar General Authentics line. Now, I got it from Dollar General, I should say. It is for sale at other places, but a cheap little version of Optimus from the Authentics line right here. I think this is from the first wave of Authentics. He's about the same size, but a little smaller. And that is probably one of the best comparisons we're going to have next to the next one I have coming in a second. But this is the figure that we're going to start scaling it with. It's also the first one I have. Notice the atrocious backpack for the size, and the fact that the arms, under no circumstances, actually, let's get a side shot without my hands being there. The arms on this Optimus do not swivel, or not swivel. They don't have a elbow joint. So that's one of the main focuses as well for that. The tires also show, so I guess this might just be for the figures, so the size point, just for the helping for it. But with this engineering, even with the wheel showing, they have a really cool way that they flip out. I'll show that here in a little bit. Alright, let's get the next comparison while we're in robot mode. And then I have one more that isn't Optimus I'm going to show off. Here's a slightly taller than the Authentics, but almost evenly matching, just by not a little bit. This Optimus Prime is a little taller. This one is from the current Rise of the Beast toy line. I think it's the, all I know, I don't remember the name of it off the top of my head, but it comes with the little, I wish I remembered his name. It's the Maximal that can turn into a chainsaw. I don't remember his name. I know he's a little handheld one. I know they use them, there's like different lines of them. There's one for all of the main Maximals as well. I think some Predacons. I think there's an alligator one I have somewhere. This is the one you can get at, I believe Walmart has it. I don't know if Target does as well, but it comes with different things like including 5mm ports, which this does not have, and elbow joints. And great posability overall. This one, if you're going for ever a small Prime that is in the actual like mainline market, I would definitely recommend this. So let's get 2 shots side by side. Go to the side. By the review, I will try and get this guy's actual name. Get my arms out of the shot. Let's talk about the backpack. It's actually pretty good on this figure as well, besides that massive hole where his head goes, and the fact that his grill kind of shines through perfectly with the hollow legs. So there's some ups and downs to both, but still, this would probably be the best mainline comparison to an Optimus by the comparison to this Nemesis mold. And then let's talk about one more comparison. I don't have because, well, also Rise of the Beast didn't have a Megatron. I don't have a Rise of the Beast version of Megatron to show, but I do have the Authentics Megatron, to which he actually scales really well with as well. He is slightly taller than the Megatron, but this is a really good way to show, I don't know, I feel like another Decepticon might be kind of good to have with them, especially by comparison for height scaling wise. Again, hollow legs, but what else can you expect from the mainline Authentic series? Alright, and then for the hell of it, let's show the Authentics Optimus next to it to show how different of a height comparison that is as well. So Megatron is clearly a little taller, with Nemesis being slightly taller than all three. In fact, I'd say he's about a Megatron head taller than, well, Megatron. I was trying to figure out a little bit of difference, but about the size of a head is how different they are. Alright, let's get them out of here. We are going to focus on transformation, but before we do that too, I know we keep bouncing back and forth. This is a little relevant. I also want size comparison. I'm going to put roller under it for now, because again, those are really hard to pop out, at least for me. Okay, roller's not quite tall enough to hold it, so let's see if this little peg here will help with it. It doesn't appear to. Okay. Give me a moment and I'll try and get those open off camera. I also need to put the little tools back on roller too, which I will do later. So the one thing that I currently do not own, at least until I get I'm going to try and get the Studio Series 86 Optimus. The only Earthrise Optimus I'm planning on getting is the Shattered Glass version of it. Alright, I did end up getting it off camera. Here we are, back with the trailer again. I will set this right here, as I do want to show you what an equivalent trailer would be. I don't have any small ones, but I do have on me, which is why Toxitron was relevant. The only actual trailer I own, besides the smaller one, is a Toxitron trailer. So here's the Toxitron trailer. It is horrendously dark. Let me get out of the way of the lighting. And I will say they're actually pretty even sized. Putting the Nemesis Prime right in front of it, the only thing that cuts off in terms of length is actually where the Toxitron trailer opens up. Let me try moving it up a little bit into the light. It literally only gets cut off right by that little point. So this is actually a pretty big trailer by comparison to this. The Toxtron trailer is a little taller even with the black sections of it. Kind of showing like this, hopefully. It's got some tallness, but the length is almost spot on in similarity, so I thought that was really neat. Now, the Toxitron truck is going to way heavily match this, or surpass the size of this truck when we're done. We're going to go over to the transformation. I haven't done it in a while. I'm going to try to do it without instructions, but the odds of that happening correctly is very slim, especially doing it in the right order. And I feel like if I'm doing a review on this, I'm almost definitely going to want to show the steps in order. So let's start off. Actually, no, I don't think I need to get the matrix out. I was going to say, I was going to take the matrix out for simplicity's sake, but I'm going to try to leave it in because I feel like it's slight parts forming if I don't. Also, fun fact, the instruction starts off not quite with the jetpack on, but in the product shot, it does show him fully equipped into the things. So let's go ahead and get started on the instructions. So it says to actually put the matrix in. That's interesting. That is actually the first step. So with the instructions, it asks you to go ahead and flip the hands inside. So flipping the hands around through this to show the little white pegs that appear on the truck mode in Optimus's robot or truck mode. It then asks you to turn around to the back, put the head, open this up, put the head, flip it around down here. There is light piping on the robot. Totally forgot about that. That's okay though. Have no way to demonstrate that very well right now. After you do that, you immediately turn it back around and go to the legs I mentioned that fold out pretty neat. To untab the legs right through here and get them flipped up. Keep them straight like this. Make them fly. Not really. After that, this one's a little bit confusing. You go to the back, and just because you want a back angle of this, you untab the front. Wait, no you don't. What am I looking at? This happens sometimes when I look at instructions. These ones are not labeled well, and technically are in a different language. I know what I did wrong. Flip this up, turn them around. That's what I did wrong. Okay. I thought it meant flip them, and I was very confused for a second there. Okay, now that we're doing that, raise the arms up like this, make him T-pose. Or would this be H-posing? Sideways H? I don't know. Now that you do that, flip the skirt up and go ahead and untab his body, making him do this, except they want me doing it in this direction. So make him do this, and we're going to start seeing where the robot mode comes into play. I'm going to set him down temporarily for 1 minute. After that, go to the back and flip his little side back pieces right here down to get them level. Then, you actually want to go ahead and bring him to the front. Pull these down. You'll see they'll actually come out quite easily, and they're swiveling out like this. There's a reason for that. It's because this is where the wheel mechanism for the front of the truck is hidden, as well as the bumpers. So go ahead and flip these out like this and bring them and connect them. After you do that, you're going to want to go ahead and hear me out, flip out the front, twist the matrix chamber around, and reveal the other windows. So this is the truck windows hidden within the chest. I really like how that's situated. That actually is where you will go ahead and connect these now, but I feel like doing that in any order as long as they're not blocking this being pulled down forward, because you'll see they'll move with it. It's not that bad. Next up, you're going to want to take the arms and bring them back, and then move the arms forward like this. Doing so creates the front of the truck just like how a G1 Optimus would look. Very flat, very nice. After that, you want to go through and move the legs and connect them. I believe they have little connector tabs here. They do. I got to try to do it. Give me a second. Put tabs like that. They're not hard to click in whatsoever. Make sure the legs are completely straight when you do this. You'll notice they go a little sideways. They're a little hard to do that. Take the little skirts we have folded out, snap them into place like so. Oh, no, I know what I did wrong. I think I missed a step. Let's figure out what that step was. I'm partially sure you can do... Oh, okay. Here's what I did wrong. Take the legs and kind of turn it sideways and then pull it up like this. They go over the shins. That's the step. I always will miss at least one, if not two. Now we tab them, and that whole process of them making sure they were straight is no longer needed. Bend the toes down. And now you'll see the hollow space completely fills up, and then they can tab everything in left and right side. There's the bottom of the truck, there's the side of the truck, there's the back of the truck, remember to flip the toes down, and there's the front of the truck. We have the truck mode fully complete. Setting it down, it's quite small by comparison to most other truck forms of Optimus, mainly because, again, this is a very small figure. It rolls pretty well. The tires are plastic just like the rest of the figure. Let me make sure it's actually kind of sturdy. Nothing else you have to fold out once you get to this point. The back right here is a little off, and also, again, the toes popping out, but it's very rare there's not a Prime that doesn't do that. The back of the truck, hidden very well. I do like that. Most Primes have an issue where they have a massive hole right between the arms. Alright, so now that we have the truck, let me get the Authentics converted as well as the other one from Mainline. I'll do that on camera as well, just for the hell of it, since we have time to kill. Oh, is this the one I gotta do the legs first because of the clearance? Or no, I gotta do the legs before the arms even because they have little tabs that hold them in. There we go. Here is this Optimus versus the Authentics one. It's taller, but it's not wider. Or it may be, but just barely with toe clearance, depending on how you have it held. Yeah, just barely with toe clearance, but it is about the same width, but the height goes definitely to Nemesis. Moving that over, let me get the other one transformed. This one, I don't quite remember beyond doing this. Oh, yeah, no, there's not really much ingenuity at all with this one. Which is okay, though, because it's still actually a nice-looking truck mode. Give me a minute. Okay, no, if I don't do that, it's gonna drive me crazy. There is one thing with this one, if you happen to buy this on Mainline, or for your Mainline. I only bought it for the little thing it came with, because you can tell I already have multiple small Optimuses. The head is kinda nuts. I'm just gonna leave that like that, because it's... Oh, there we go, I popped it. So fun fact, that's going to be almost impossible to get out. I've tried it, doing it a dozen times. I have to use a pair of tweezers every time to, like, pry them out. So be careful when you do that, and don't break your figure. I just wanted the little guy who turns into a chainsaw because I collected most of the other ones that come in the set. I believe he just tabs... Oh, damn it. Oh, get his heels back in. There we go. Slide that over, come back here. And here is the truck. I actually do like this. I considered taking this and putting it at my work desk, but overall, I kind of, for some reason, deep down, the only bonus this has over all of them is 5mm ports, which none of the other small Optimuses have. Yeah, I don't know. I don't hate it, but either way, he's actually bigger than, besides again length, Nemesis seems to take the cake again with that, he's actually taller than the Nemesis one. In terms of width, about the same. He's actually a little wider as well, barely. Let's see if I can show that off on camera. Yeah, I can a little bit. Barely wider, a little bit taller, and I don't like his smokestacks, but at least he has some by comparison to the Authentics, which doesn't have any at all. Get a side-by-side shot of all three. Get a length shot of all three. They all have similarities. Some have a little bit different better than others, especially with, again, these being licensed Hasbro figures. But the Chinese trickery always gets it right. And before you think I'm saying that's bad, or I'm being racist there, no, I'm not. I'm not kidding. They have amazing skills when they come to making these things. Or when it comes down to for them making these things. So let's go ahead and combine the truck with the trailer. The truck has two tiny, tiny little holes right here. I don't know if they're catching in the light or showing. That connect to that port right there. Let me see if I can get it first try. It's not like plugging in a USB port all the time. It fits in very evenly with the trailer. Here is the truck with the trailer. I like it a lot. I really, really want to see what the Optimus regular colors look like with this, because again, this is a really cool thing. Because this is a super flat surface, they don't really roll too well, but they are doing it a little bit. Certain wheels are, certain wheels aren't. So there we go. for how that looks. He looks a little small by comparison to the trailer, but if you look at any Optimus that has a trailer, they all look that way. Trust me, look it up, you'll see what I mean. He's actually perfect scaled almost with it by comparison to how any other Optimus would look. Something really cool about the roller that I also want to show is that, once I get this part tabbed back in, a piece has fallen out, is he is able, if you wiggle with it enough, to hold the gun. So, honestly, with everything here being super solid plastic, all the accessories you do get with the figure make it really worth that, again, $40 to $60 depending on where you buy it price point. I think this is extremely worth it. I will go ahead and show how the jetpack looks by comparison equipped while it's put on. It does make him harder to turn. He still can, but he kind of slips in and out a little bit. He has the clearance for it, and he will, and I do like that. But again, if you do have it and you want to keep it all together, I recommend just throwing in the trailer. You cannot take the Matrix out when he's in truck mode. That's okay. I really think he comes with a lot of cool things. Let's go ahead and put everything back in the trailer. You cannot open the trailer with this attached, so make sure you remove that, set it aside to a good place, open the doors. Not a requirement when opening it, but I think it's kind of neat to do. Open it back up. I did the thing again out of impulse. Oops. Put roller back in. It's at an angle because I don't have the gates or the holder up thing. Forgot to put the tools on roller. Something else that's kind of neat about this, the only thing it's missing by comparison to the original, and even 86 Optimus doesn't have this, is it doesn't have the launcher that the original G1 toy came for roller. Even though it doesn't have that, it comes with almost everything else perfectly, and again, a very good truck mode that hides everything in its own way. And its own little style. I really do want to know what the Optimus looks like with this. I would love to have one and do plan on maybe picking one up eventually, depending on how quick I get that 86 Optimus. The thing is, for the price of 2 JINBAO OP commanders, I can get one Studio Series 86 Optimus, roughly the price of 2 in this market. So yeah, for the sake of getting all of this, I did get one without a box, so that did kind of suck, but it's also usually, for some reason, $10 cheaper. I don't know why that is. I'm having trouble getting the trailer in. There we go. You get the full set here, plus the instructions, which, by the way, only about that much instructions with it, telling you how to use all the trailer abilities as well. Nothing on the back, as well as having a stand that appears, if you look in the Optimus product shot, to also come with the Optimus version. Might be a little hard to see. I think this is all well worth it. For the last, I'd say we have about 10, 20, 15 minutes. I'm going to show a few more things with this. I think that are just kind of neat. I do have here, for the hell of it, I'm not going to show the tank mode authentic Megatron because I feel like it's a bit redundant. Not really a point for it since we're just mainly comparing Optimus Prime molds. I am transforming something off screen, so give me one moment. It will be quick. Probably about as quick as the Authentics Optimus once I get it down. Due to the fact that it is a... Come on. Fold over, I know you can. And shut, clamp. It is a full-sized Authentics Optimus as well, to show the difference of what a mainline figure may have by comparison. Here's the small version of the Authentics, by comparison again to the Nemesis Prime, with the size comparison going through. There is the Autobot logos on both of them. Massive size comparison difference, and also let's get in a bit more light. I did want to show that because I feel like that helps give a little bit of scale to it as well. So now that we have a little bit of time, I'm going to go ahead and transform him back on camera, do a reversal of the process. His toes do look a bit bent. It's because they do have an ankle pivot, and I don't think I tabbed them in right. There we go. He does stand up. We can get a bit of a Gerwalk mode if I... Actually, let's try and get him in a Gerwalk mode. I feel like that'd be fun. By the way, I only know what a Gerwalk mode is because I kept seeing people post Starscream ones. Can I get him in one? I might not be able to with the way the arms are set in the transformation. Oh no, I can, kind of. Kind of get him in one. I don't know, I can get him to lean. It's okay. Let's go ahead and get him reversed. So, get the legs extended, which can be done while they're clipped. Unclip them and go through. The legs have a super easy process to get them back. He's already practically halfway done. Can this be a Gerwalk mode? Yes, that's a much better one, I guess. I don't know. Okay. Turn without breaking. Okay, I'm not going to try that, and I'm not even going to try to force it because we've gotten lucky so far today, and I don't want that to go wrong. Open up his waist. Go through. Once I get... Oh, the arms have to move first. Arm clearance. Out. Oh, yeah, the chest. Turn the chest around. There's an Ironhide, I swear, that does a very similar... No, he does a fold-out process. It's the... I almost said the murd. The mode that he has the ability to take his top part off and uses as a shield. Take these out, fold this up. I love how the chest piece just magically forms out of this. This is one of the coolest ways that I've seen an Optimus work in terms of mold. And I'm doing this without looking at the instructions, by the way. It's a super straightforward process. I don't exactly have nails enough to get this out, but I'm going to try. Okay, it worked with me enough for me to be able to do it. This one's a bit more stubborn. We're actually slid out perfectly, and we're already done. So, oh, and I did have to fold this back up because of where the head goes. But I'm already done, and it barely took any effort. I'm also half vision obscured by the camera I'm trying not to look through. So he has a very, very easy, yet intuitive, and I'd say very fun transformation process. I think that was really fun. Talk about a little more clearance. He does have a ball joint here at the head that allows him to look up and down pretty well, and as well as go side to side, give a bit of a rock and roll motion, as well as a no. A yes, not really much of a yes. He does have a really good clearance on everything. Has a spread of about that far, so pretty good. There is one thing I remember doing. I'm going to do it intentionally. This can happen occasionally. I might not be able to even do it without... Okay, I'm not even going to try to do it intentionally, but these are not ball joints. These are little tabs that can slide in and out. I think one of them used to be a little loose, but it did appear to somehow get better. His leg can go back that far, so pretty good. And if I move the front skirt up, pretty much as high as the front skirt goes as well. His ankle... His toe does go down and up, as well as the full ankle pivot to make a full 360. That has nothing to do with the transformation. He just fully has that clearance anyway. He does have a waist swivel, as well as untabs here. This definitely is for the transformation, though, so I'm going to ignore that part for now, but it is there if you need to try and get him in a pose. I'm now going to use the stand here to try to get him in some of the actual classic-looking poses. I swear I'm going to go back and watch this and see that I hate the lighting on it. So I am going to try to find a solution for that, because I used to have a light that's more up there that would angle down like this. However, the light bulb went out, and we're having trouble finding a reason for why it's having some wiring issues with it, because now it doesn't want to work correctly. The point to put his stand in is right here on his asshole. So we're going to tab that in, and kind of got to wiggle it on. So after you kind of violate this man, you are done, and now have a Optimus on a stand. Stand almost fell a little forward. He is a little bit heavy, actually. Again, this is all hard plastic. I don't think there's any die-cast metal on him, but this is a very still cool figure. He did fall for it. Oh god, it's still in him. Okay, we're going to get that back on. Maybe angle it up a little bit. That makes it a little bit more even. But then I can't. Here, let's try to get this going. So if we angle him, let me get the gun out of the trailer real quick to get this going correctly. See, here's the thing. I'm gonna laugh if I just end up uploading this just as is, and then I just never go back and actually do the review. I just upload just me going through one at a time, bit by bit, piece by piece. I mean, I've said most of the stuff I'm probably gonna say in the review. I'm probably just gonna make it a lot shorter, and probably include some shots as well that are not in this already. Let's get his gun in his hand so we can replicate this pose. I know this is Nemesis Prime, so he did not hit the pose. And fun fact, I've actually never seen the Nemesis Prime episode, or anything he would be in for, let me get an image for this. Optimus pose. Oh, it's giving me the Bayverse pose where he's like crouching down. There we go. Alright, so what we gotta do is that's not it. No, stop giving me the Bayverse pose. Okay, so what we gotta do is bring this arm back, kind of angle him with the waist swivel a little bit like this, get him more angled like this, bring up the gun fairly like this, the knee, okay, this has got to come way up, because he's kind of got to hit this is hitting back, nah, this has got to come way more out. So that's the closest I think we're going to get, and I don't hate it, so let's go with this. He also, spoiler alert for TF1, mute me until you see me give a thumbs up if you don't want a spoiler for TF1, because that just came out, and is not out quite yet in Britain, I don't think. Alright, let's see how that looks on stream, because I don't have it open. Here's him hitting the pose kind of, or at least the closest he can, in this mold. Let me get my phone for better lighting with this. I feel like this is one of the most important things to have highlighted with him, is if he can hit the pose or not. So he's hitting the pose. He does very well doing it. Personally would say it's not exactly the most spot on. I'm actually going to move the gun a little bit more this way. But he does pretty well in doing it. Again, for such a small figure, everything is still hitting almost every good regard for it. Spoiler for Transformers 1, though. He hits the pose. Thumbs up. It's only for a second. Now, those of you who muted me, if you did, or if you didn't care, if you are seeing this, it's probably past the point of Transformers 1 coming out. You'll have no idea what I meant by it's only for a second. Hopefully, context clues did not just give you a spoiler. Putting the gun back in the trailer. And I'm also going to show, I'm going to try and make him hit the Bayverse pose, however I don't need the stand for that, so we're going to not need it in a second. But I will also say, this stand works pretty well for other figures, as long as they have that hole peg, which I've actually noticed most Legacy figures do. Like, I was fiddling around with my Tarn that I had the other day, and turns out he has a hole for it. In fact, hold on, let me pick up Toxitron and see. I have him in truck mode right now, but let me see if I can angle this right. I don't know if he does. I can't see it, but it'd be kind of neat if he did. But I know the Tarn does, so that's pretty cool. Alright, so let's try and hit the Bayverse pose. Let me get the legs. And by Bayverse pose, I mean the one where he's like... You'll see here. I know with the ankle pivot I can get it. So he's leaning forward first off, which he can do pretty well. I got to get the knee up. Let's undo the skirt. The skirt does not have a tab, so that's just heads up. And he kind of has a really long arm and goes up like this. Okay, the head does swivel up and down like this for the transformation, but we're not trying to make him do that. I don't think he can hit that pose very well, but also, again, this is not the mold it was designed for. And I am looking at a G1 version of Optimus hitting this pose. He isn't really able to look up far enough to do it, so this isn't working out too well. But the thought that counts is what matters here. Yeah, he's not able to hit the Bayverse pose where he's kind of like going down like, I don't know. This is about as good as it's going to be. And I don't think that looks like it very much at all. He doesn't really bend forward, which, given the fact of how his torso is, I wouldn't blame him for the ability to not do that. He can lean forward pretty well. He can lean forward that far, as well as go back about... Honestly, he can go back as far as he needs to, but for that's him kind of trying to hit more of a Dio pose. Nah, he go back way further for that. Come on. Oh, fuck it, I want to... Don't fall back. Okay, he hit the back. Like I said, he's not... I know he keeps flopping over. He's not that top-heavy, I swear. Like, he's really not. He's pretty even. It's very solid overall. Hollow points, yes, but they barely show unless you're looking at it from the very specific angles. Again, I love how the torso looks. This looks like a naturally cut torso for it, and it looks really good. These are hidden well. They don't match, per se, exactly quite on the back. That sucks, but it's okay. This thing, for only being the price point it is, and coming with so much, and I consider the stand to be extra because I personally did not see it on the marketing whenever I bought it. The stand also swivels like this and comes apart into up to 4 pieces. I think this is a really good deal. I would recommend it for anybody that is looking for a cheap version of an Optimus mold that comes with everything you need for it. And also, he scales really well with the Dinobots from Legacy and the Constructicons that I'm going to be going over in a later video. There's another KO that I'm going to be going over for the Constructicons here soon that I'm going to be scaling with the Legacy core class Dinobots. So I'm probably going to whip this guy out for size comparisons when we get there. I might use this guy for size comparisons with the, at least the robot mode, or not the robot mode, at least the alt mode of the New Age. Why do I keep saying New Age? New Age is a different company entirely. The Magic Square version of the Megatron, because the gun mode doesn't exactly fit in the palm of somebody's hand whenever we get to there. And it does also come with the stand, but I'm going to probably use it with the clear stand as well. I think I'm going to prefer the black stand when it comes out, but again, this was bonus in my book. Let's see, did I cover everything I wanted to? Is there any other thing I might want to get something while I'm here? I think that's everything. I talked about it a lot. I feel like this covered most things. If y'all would like to see more of these, by the way, I already shared I'm going to be doing more, but if you want to see more with intent, like if you guys say, hey, I know you have this figure, I want to see maybe a size comparison with something else that I've seen. I do have a Transformers account on my Instagram. I don't really promote that one on here, so I will maybe try saying maybe a Twitter or something or anything else. We will see. Kind of get him in a heroic pose, despite him being Nemesis Prime. More of a heroic pose. Yeah, first and foremost, lighting. That's the first thing I'm going to work on. I might even come back and do this before the video, but I did want to demo what one of these is going to look like for y'all. I also wish I had just like a rotating table here. That way I didn't have to like rotate them with my fingers and just hands and do that myself, because it's going to be out of frame, and not out of frame, but it's not going to be in the same spot every time. So lighting is the first thing I'm going to work on, besides actually getting different ones to do this with. I think I can also show, if it doesn't fall out, his hands do swivel, so I can kind of do like an opening chest for the Matrix kind of look. I can do it on the right arm, or the left arm, but not the right arm. Why? There we go. So basically making him flash everybody on the field. By the way, these open quite far. They do tab off eventually, so they don't open far enough without untabbing. Left one kind of untabbed as well, so they don't go that far. Never mind. This is probably as wide as you're going to get it, and it be completely natural. Why does this arm not want to do it? What am I doing differently? Oh, I have it angled like that. There we go. So then by default, this should... Yes, okay. So there, he's got the Matrix chamber open. Lean him back a little bit, put the Matrix back in, and light our darkest hour. I was going to try maybe saying darken our brightest hour or something like that, considering he's, again, Nemesis Prime, not Optimus. I think this looks cool. I think that's a really good way for us to be able to end it today. I am going to upload all this footage onto my YouTube channel directly. Let me get out of the light once again. I'm going to upload all this footage directly to YouTube. I am going to go back and try and edit it up to give an actual thought review. I definitely would get this mold through JINBAO. If you feel like it's something that you would want, because again, I bought this before Studio Series 86. This was at least a year ago. I probably would just say go get Studio Series 86, or there's also now the reissue of the Retro G1 Optimus Prime now hitting shelves, and Earthrise. So there's a lot of options. If you want something that's smaller, though, the smallest one definitely that takes the cake is this one. There are tons of options now by comparison to when I originally had bought this. I don't hate it though. This is definitely one of my favorite figures I have. Even though it's so small, it has everything I was looking for when I got it. It's also, again, you saw how quickly I changed it once I figured out what I was doing once again. It's actually really easy to transform and get it down to the exact point. Can I hit the Megatron must be stopped pose? Hold on, let's see if I can hit that. He kind of leans really far up with that. No matter the cost. Let's see. No, I can't really hit it. He wants to angle differently. If I remember correctly, I think the 86 Optimus also has problems hitting that pose as well. I don't know. Again, I also just got the Nemesis Prime because I already had, if you can't tell, multiple G1 style Optimus Primes. Oh shoot, that's my entire camera that fell over. That's not good at all. I said, oh shoot, because I try and keep a swear quota. I don't want to do it more than I have to. I am actually trying to be conscious of that. If you watch a lot of my old videos, you'll see why I do it a lot. So, that's okay. That happens. I'm going to go ahead and end this here. I want to thank anybody that did make it this far, and if you did, I hope you'll enjoy actually watching the review for when I go through and actually talk about this guy. But I wanted to add all that just in case you watch this and just don't feel like tuning into the other one. That's okay. If you tune in for both, you're a legend. Have a good day. Or night, if you're watching it then. I usually say that. Why did I not say it